Hi everyone, Heather here with PersephoneReturns.com, and I am here to bring you your weekly forecast for Monday, October 30th through Sunday, November 5th of 2017. And this week is looking to actually be a really nice week in terms of the energy. There's not a lot going on at the beginning of the week. And then, as we come into the end of the week, we're coming into this really big, really bright, really beautiful full moon, which is exalted in the sign of Taurus. And it's actually really nicely aspected because the sun, as a part of this full moon, because the full moon is when the sun is actually opposing the moon, the sun is actually going to be in conjunction still with Jupiter, which came exact last week on Thursday. And so we're still coming off the energy of that really beautiful conjunction between Jupiter and the sun, which gave us sort of a heads up and showed us a little bit about what the energy is going to bring us for the next year with Jupiter moving through Scorpio. So something was illuminated at that time period. It was showing us what's ahead, what's going to be sort of expanded on, and what developments are going to happen in the area of our lives that are affected by Scorpio and by this Jupiter and Scorpio transit. And so that was a really powerful time period. And so that is actually part of this full moon energy as well. And so what we have going on today is we actually have, or this week, is we actually have Jupiter and the sun in conjunction as a part of this full moon in opposition to the moon. And then we also have Neptune, which is going to be in trine with the sun and also in sextile with the full moon in Taurus. And so, again, this is a really positive, really beautiful, really loving, really connected, compassionate, romantic, fantastical energy where, we can really fall into these realms of romance and fantasy and dreams, and connecting with other worlds, other realms, which is, very fitting because this week we also are coming into a really major pagan holiday, which is Samhain, Day of the Dead, whatever it is that you want to call it, whatever it is that you celebrate yourself. This is essentially the marker of the halfway point between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. And this is actually a time period where we sort of celebrate the third and final harvest of the year. So there are 3 harvests in every year, and Samhain marks the third harvest. So it's the final chance to sort of get all of the benefits, get all of the rewards of all of the hard work that we've put in throughout the year, and to sort of take in those rewards, take in everything that we need to harvest in terms of our physical energy, but also it's a time to let go and to release anything that no longer serves us, to release what's dying, what needs to be surrendered. If you look at this time of year, this season, that's exactly what's going on, what Mother Earth is doing. We get to harvest the fruits of our labors, the grains, the fruits, the vegetables that we've been growing all year round if you, garden or farm or anything like that. And a lot of the plants start to die back. And so that's a time period where we have to let go. We have to let go of what happened, over the course of the year, and just hold on to the things that are beautiful. This is also a time period where the days get shorter, they get colder. It's a time to go inward, to reflect. This is also one of the time periods in the year where the veils are very thin, and the veil between the living and the dead and between other worlds and other realms is very thin. So we're able to connect with our ancestors, to connect with the people that are no longer with us in the physical realm. And so that's why we celebrate, Day of the Dead, where we honor our ancestors, right? Because they can hear us, they can see us, they can connect with us much more easily at this time. There's a lot of different traditions around Samhain and around Halloween. What is the other day? The All Saints Day that the church has created, and Day of the Dead. There's so many different celebrations of this time period throughout cultures, and I could go in, depth into all these different things. But essentially, what it is it's a time to go inward. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to sort of withdraw your energy from the physical world as the sun withdraws, from the physical as well, and to really look inward. It's the time when, if you think about the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. This is when the crone comes into her true power. So she, comes into her wisdom. And so this is a time period to take the fruits of everything that we've learned throughout the year and to turn inward, to reflect, to see what we've done well and what we haven't done well. And, that way we can do better moving forward. And so yeah, that's another energy that's coming this week, and that actually happens around Halloween, obviously, because it happens on November 1st. And I'm actually going to pause this real quick to fix the lighting. Okay, sorry about that. I'm starting to lose daylight here. I actually recorded this earlier today, and, well, I didn't record it. That's the problem. I did the whole spiel and then nothing happened. So, you know, I'm redoing this later on in the evening right now, so I'm starting to lose daylight. But anyway, so we have, that's essentially the major energy that's happening this week. The other thing that's happening is, you know, on the day of the full moon, we have Venus in sextile to Saturn, which is bringing a lot of gifts and a lot of benefits to our relationships and to our finances in the form of stability, commitment, long-term goals and plans. It's sort of grounding out the energy in terms of our relationships right now, in terms of our finances, so we can create something more stable, more long-lasting, and we can do that much more easily at this time period. Venus is also going to be opposing Uranus, though. So even though, you know, we're trying to create stability and that can come much more easily, we have to do that through integrating change, because anytime you have an opposition, you have to integrate the energy of the opposite. So we have Venus, which wants to be in harmony, in balance, and in flow with our partnerships. And we have Uranus, which is like urging us, causing this frustration, this unsettled feeling, this unsettled energy, which is causing us to need to change something, right? So if something comes up today or on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that time period that's a little frustrating, that's a little unnerving, or if you just feel this internal sense of frustration, look at where that's coming from and see what you need to change in order to create better stability and better balance and better long-lasting commitments in your relationships and also in your finances as well. This could bring financial instability. This could bring some sort of out of the blue, out of nowhere situation that causes you to have to sort of change up something in one of those areas. So there's going to be sort of a lack of, it causes you to just feel like a little unsatisfied, a little frustrated. So that's the energy that's coming on Friday. In addition to this, also, the sun is obviously trining Neptune, which we talked about, and that's going to be part of this really beautiful full moon. Other than that, not a whole lot happening this week. We do actually have Mercury moving into Sagittarius at the end of the week on Sunday and into Monday. I think I'm going to include more about that in my video for next week, but that's going to help us to gain perspective in terms of like looking at the bigger picture instead of just the details. So we'll be able to look at the details, but how they make up the bigger picture, and look at things more expansively, optimistically, to think about things in a deep and philosophical way, and to learn like broader sort of skill sets, broader information, deeper information. And it's also looking at our integrity too. So that's, you know, a little bit of the energy that's coming in at the end of the week on Sunday, but that's a little ways away. That's also delayed savings time, which I might actually do a little bit of a video about as well. But yeah, so that's what's going on this week. And now I'm going to jump into the forecast for all 12 signs. And because the main event this week is the full moon in Taurus, that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this reading. So, you know, as always, this is a very general reading for each of the 12 signs. Look at your rising sign first and then your sun sign if you know your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, your sun sign is going to work just as well. But I recommend looking at both, but focusing primarily on the rising sign because that's going to be the most accurate. And again, this isn't going to be always completely accurate for everyone. It doesn't take into account your personal planets. If you want a reading that is more precise and more personalized to you specifically, you can always book a reading. The link is in the description below. Oh, and also, I am going to be increasing my prices very slightly after this week. So this is the last chance this week to get a reading at my current pricing. So if you have been thinking about booking a reading, you know, take advantage of that and do it now. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. So we have first Aries and Aries Rising. All right, so for Aries and Aries Rising, this full moon is going to be bringing some sort of culmination point and some sort of integration of energy surrounding your finances, material wealth, material possessions, material comforts. This is a time when you can come into some money or, you know, come back into a balance, because really the focus up until this point was on joint finances, joint resources, things that take your power away, where you become disempowered and where you need to empower yourself. So this is, you know, a process with Jupiter and Scorpio of empowerment for you. Empowerment through getting rid of debt, empowerment through, you know, other resources and things like that. This could also be, you know, a partner that's getting more money or something along those lines. But in either case, you know, this is when you're coming back into balance instead of focusing on what's disempowering you, and instead of focusing on controlling other people, instead of focusing on joint finances, joint partnerships, all these different things. You're focusing on your own resources and your own material gifts, your own material wealth, and enjoying that, right? So you can enjoy material pleasures much more easily at this time. Things that are very grounded, very sensual, very sort of tangible, and things that are that don't just have financial like worth it, things that are worth more, like beyond that, because that's what Taurus is about. It's not just about things that are worth a lot of money. It's about things that have true value. And so, this is a time period where you're sort of coming to this culmination point where you can experience things that have true value, and you can also benefit through something that you've begun at the beginning of this lunar cycle. You can benefit monetarily from that. So the lunar cycle began with the full moon in Libra, and it's coming to the culmination point here with the new moon in Taurus, or the full moon in Taurus. Sorry, I'm a little jumbled about that, huh? But in either case, this is highlighting your resources, highlighting your money, and this is a very beneficial, very positive, very beautiful energy in this area that can bring more money, more resources into your second house. Taurus and Taurus Rising, this is a really good full moon for you because it's in your sign. So this is your time to shine. This is your time to be out in the spotlight. This is a time when you can really enjoy the things that you truly love, in terms of, sensory pleasures, really good food, really connecting with nature, putting your feet in the ground, doing things that are very tangible, very sensual. This is also a time when you might be in the spotlight. You might be recognized or rewarded for some sort of project you started that's coming to a culmination point. But in either case, this is, highlighting you and your own self-interest, your own needs, and the things that you need to do in order to pamper yourself to feel good. So this is the time to, do your thing. Do whatever it is that makes you feel good. And, Taurus is all about feeling good, right? So this is a time when that is being supported very much so. And also it could be that you were focusing a lot on your relationships and your partnerships, commitments, all those types of things, even just like friendships, any sort of close personal relationships probably have been sort of in the spotlight in your sort of focus for the past couple of weeks. And so this could be coming back into balance, focusing more on you and your own needs. Okay. So Gemini and Gemini Rising. So this is actually happening. This full moon is happening in your 12th house. So it could be that you've been working really hard. You've probably been really busy, especially over the past couple of weeks. A lot of new developments in terms of your career, your public reputation, or not your career, sorry, your daily routines, your day-to-day experience, your health, the things that you do to show up in service for other people, your coworkers, the hard work that you put in, the hard effort that you put in toward your career goals, toward, those tangible things. And so, a lot of focus on a lot of work and, being really busy. And so this is a time period where with the full moon in the 12th house, you need to take time for yourself. You need to go into seclusion. You need to take time away from the world, right? So this is pampering yourself by taking time to go inward, taking time to separate yourself from all the craziness, all the busyness of sort of the mundane world, and to really focus on your internal needs and focusing, on self-reflection and spirituality, and maybe, meditation, or maybe you want to, go away on a little retreat or something along those lines. That would be actually really ideal for this energy. But this is a time to go inward and to reflect. You might not feel like really being out in the world, even though it is a full moon right now, because it is in your 12th house, and that's okay. So stay home, pamper yourself, eat some chocolate, watch a movie, do whatever it is that you need to do, but allow yourself that space to be in your own energy, because that's going to be really important this weekend. Okay. Cancer and Cancer Rising. So for Cancers, this is actually going to be in your 5th house. Actually, wait, in your 11th house. So it's coming from the 5th house. So, you're having Jupiter transit the 5th house, which is really great for expanding on the things that you love to do, right? It's expanding on the things that you do because you're passionate about them, because you love to do them, because it feels like play, it feels like joy. And so, now it's time to share that with your friends and with the people that you surround yourself with, your social networks. This is a time when you can get recognition or rewarded for the hard work and the effort that you put in terms of your career, because that's one of the things that's ruled by the 11th house. This could also be, a really great time to go out and to be around your friends. So go out, go to a restaurant, go to a party, just surround yourself with the people that you like to be around and share with them, what it is that you've been up to. Share your heart with them, integrate that energy, integrate your passions with the people that you love to be around and that, you have fun with. So with your friends and your social groups. So this is a really great time to socialize. This is a really great time to reach out and connect with your friend groups. And then Leo and Leo Rising. So, the beginning part of this month was probably a lot of focus surrounding your home, your family situation, your roots, right? And positive, right? Like a lot of new developments in this area have been highlighted. But now it's time to go back to focusing about who you are and what you are out in the world. Your career, your public reputation, that's what is being highlighted at this time. So you're reintegrating that energy. You're going back out into the spotlight. Maybe you're going to get recognized for some sort of efforts that you put in towards your work, your career, maybe a big project. Could be recognized for, by one of your bosses or an authority figure. You could maybe get the raise that you've been wanting to get or something along those lines, but it's about getting recognition and getting recognized for your gifts and for, the things that Leo likes to get recognized for, because Leo is all about, getting recognition for your talents and the things that you bring to the world that are beautiful. And so this is a time to be out in the world. It's your time to shine. This could bring some career developments, minor or major. It just kind of depends on what you've been up to. Okay. And then Virgo and Virgo Rising, this is actually happening in your 9th house. And so this is really great for, so you've probably been busy with like day-to-day communications, day-to-day things, with the Sun and the Jupiter conjunction in your 3rd house. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of communicating, a lot of texting, emailing, calling, marketing, writing, all these different things, thinking, a lot of mental energy as well. Your mind is probably stimulated very heavily by this transit, which, Virgos tend to be a little overstimulated in terms of the mental energy anyway, but with all the communication that's been coming, and that's been really highlighted this past week, there's a lot of, focusing on the details, planning, organizing, communicating, emailing, all this kind of stuff. Maybe even short distance travel has come up or things like that, or like learning new skills, education, all of that. And so now it's time to integrate the opposite, which is the 9th house. And so the 9th house rules things like adventure, foreign travel, philosophy, the bigger picture and the broader perspective, the way that you get meaning and purpose in life. So bringing meaning and purpose to all these sort of seemingly mundane day-to-day activities that you've been focusing on. What is the bigger perspective? What is the bigger picture? How does this fit into your sort of overall perspective and overall philosophy in terms of your religious beliefs and your spirituality? This could also be highlighting the need to, find a new teacher, take a new course, learn something new, or, just get a way to expand your mind through travel. This could be a time when you really feel like sort of getting out there and just having an adventure, and that would very much be supported over this weekend. So even if you just do something small, if it's adventurous, it's gonna feel good, right? And you're gonna be supported in that. So breaking away from the mundane this weekend. And so for Libra and Libra Rising, this full moon is actually going to be in your 8th house. And so this is about coming back into your power. So you've been having this transit of Jupiter and the Sun in your 2nd house. Lucky you. That's, all about expanding on your money, your finances, your resources, and it's how you create resources for yourself, right? The 8th house, which is where the full moon is about how you get resources from other people. It's also about, how you give your power away and how you take your power back from other people and how you exercise your power over others. And so this could just be a really empowering time period where you're facing your fears, where you're, dealing with debt, taxes, all these things, but you're doing so in an easy way where it's being supported. This could also be highlighting joint finances with a partner. So maybe you have a partner that comes into some resources, something along those lines where you could come into money from the outside or from an outside source. This also highlights your sexuality. So this is a time period where you can get into some deeply sensual interactions with your partner if you're in partnership with somebody else. So yeah, it's a really, potent and powerful time for you. And Scorpio Rising. So this first half of this lunar cycle has been all about you, right? It's been all about your wants, your needs, your desires, the things that you want to expand on, the things that you want to grow and develop. And that's going to be still the energy for over the course of the next year. It's just been highlighted in a major way. So you're going to, be recognized a lot more for all of your talents, all of your gifts. People are going to be drawn to you. We've talked about a little bit about this in my other videos and in my articles and things like that. If you want to go back and search my website for, Jupiter and Scorpio stuff. But now it's time to integrate the opposite. So it's time to start thinking more about coming back into balance through your partnerships. So thinking about the people that you interact with on a close personal level on a day-to-day basis and reintegrating that energy, reconnecting with your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever it is, integrating that connection and that partnership with other people. That could even be, you know, business partnerships or partnerships in terms of, you know, any sort of contractual or one-on-one relationship. That's going to be highlighted this week, especially as we come into the end of this week. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So the Jupiter and Scorpio in this highlight from the Sun and Jupiter that came into conjunction earlier, or actually last week on Thursday, that was in your 12th house, and that's still part of this full moon that's actually happening in your 6th house. And so you've been sort of focusing on going inward. You're focusing on your internal self, secluding yourself, taking yourself away from the world, thinking about, you know, what's really going on beneath the surface, all that kind of stuff. So it's expanding on your inner world. And this full moon in Taurus is bringing you back to reality, right? Now you have to focus on your day-to-day experience, your routines, you know, your health, your work, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to be busy this week, especially as we come to the end of this week. So this weekend might feel a little bit more like work than anything else, but it's going to be a very positive thing. There'll be a lot of really positive new developments in terms of your work and your daily routines. This could also bring benefits to your health as well. So if you've been dealing with health issues, this could highlight that, but it could also bring solutions. Capricorn and Capricorn Rising. So this is actually happening in your 5th house. So, you know, the beginning half of this month has been about your friends, your social networks, the people that you surround yourself with, all of the groups that you like to sort of engage with in terms of that. So, you know, you've been focusing on your friends, you've been focusing on your social networks, expanding in that area, and that has been highlighted especially last week. And this week, you're coming back into balance through integrating your own passions, your own heart, the things that you do for your own creative self-expression. You know, it's about being authentic, following your passions. So this is a really romantic full moon as well. So this can bring new romance. This could enhance current romance. This can just be a very romantic, very sensual full moon energy. So this is a really great time to go out on a date, to spend time with your partner, or just do something really creative and expressive, especially if it's something physical, some sort of physical expression of your creativity, of your heart, of your soul, of the things that you're passionate about. If you own a business, it's also really great for, you know, entrepreneurs, for, you know, highlighting a lot of the work that you've done and for getting benefits. So you could benefit in a lot of different ways. And this is, you know, a really good full moon for play, for fun, for anything that you truly love to do, that you're passionate about. Definitely, I would say go for it, especially as we come into the end of this week and into this weekend. And then Aquarius and Aquarius Rising. So this full moon is in your 4th house. So you've been focusing probably a lot more on your career, on your work life, on your public reputation, on expanding on whatever it is that you're trying to do out in the world, you know, for people to see, however you're putting your energy out there. And so now it's time to bring it back in and to bring it back home, right? Because it's the 4th house. So it's about, this is highlighting your home, your family, what you need to feel comfortable, safe, and secure. And you can benefit through, you know, your home and your family life through this full moon in Taurus. It can help you to feel more grounded again. It can help you to feel more stable again. It can help you to feel like you're laying down roots. It can help you to feel comfortable. So this is a really great time period for you to spend time at home. You can, you know, redecorate. You can, you know, make things really cozy. You can spend time watching Netflix with your friends, your partners, whatever it is, your dogs, and just enjoying, you know, being comfortable, being cozy, feeling really good in a very tangible, very you know, sensory sort of way. And so, you know, that's what this full moon is highlighting, the need to, you know, focus on your roots as well. Not just, it's not all just work, work, work. You need to take care of yourself. You need to support yourself. You need to make sure that you're going inward and spending that time in that safe, secure space where you can feel comfortable and supported. And then finally, Pisces and Pisces Rising, this is in your 3rd house. So you've been focusing probably a lot on the bigger picture, the broader perspective. It could have been, you know, that what was highlighted was that you need to learn new philosophies, take some new higher education, get into teaching or public speaking yourself, find a new teacher. This is about expanding your mind, though, in a lot of different ways. So you're going to be learning a lot over the course of the next year through your experience, through your adventures that you're going to have, and through your education, and, you know, whatever that may mean for you. This could also be, you know, about publishing or something along those lines too, if you're a writer, if you're somebody who's thinking about publishing something. But this is about bringing it back to the 3rd house. So now you got to focus on your day-to-day, your communications, your phone, your emails, your text messages might be blowing up as you come into the weekend, because a lot of people are going to be wanting to contact you. There's a lot of energy happening in your 3rd house, but it's all positive things. So the communications that come through, you know, the work that you have to do in terms of like the day-to-day stuff, the bureaucratic stuff, you know, this could be like paperwork or just like day-to-day chores, short distance travel, all that kind of stuff. It's going to bring a lot of benefits, and it's going to actually flow through very positively. So It's about integrating the details, right? Because you've been so focused on the bigger picture. What are the details that make up this bigger picture, and how can you integrate that in order to create a better picture, a better, more fuller perspective that is more actionable and more, grounded and reasonable and logical as well. And so, yeah, there's a lot of communication coming your way. And then, so that is all 12 of the signs. And I hope you found that to be helpful. If you have any questions about, the upcoming energy for the week, the full moon, all of that, you can comment in the description below. I've also done a written forecast, as I always do, on my blog, which is at PersephoneReturns.com. And I will include that link at the bottom too if you want to read through that. It's just a general broad description of what's coming up for the week. And I hope you have a really beautiful week, a really wonderful Halloween, Samhain, all of that, and a really beautiful full moon in Taurus, because this really is a really beautiful, intense, good, nice, like easy energy for once. We've had, a lot of turbulence, a lot of chaos over the past few months. And so, this is a very grounded time period. The weeks that follow may be a little different. So enjoy it while it lasts if you are having that experience of ease, if you're not having some sort of other difficult transit going on in your own personal chart. So if you're enjoying this moment, if you're enjoying this energy, which a lot of people will be, make sure that you savor it. All right. Well, I hope you have a really beautiful week. I will see you all next week for the forecast for next week. Bye.